The Los Angeles Lakers have ushered in a new era in their franchise history with Luka Doncic's extension over the weekend. Doncic is now clearly the face of the franchise, with most of his Lakers teammates in attendance. Noticeably absent was LeBron James, who was the face of the Lakers franchise before Doncic arrived in the middle of last season via a shocking swap with James' close friend and fellow Clutch Sports client, Anthony Davis. The Lakers' seismic organizational pivot from James to Doncic has fueled speculation about James' future, especially after he did not get an extension this summer. So, where does James stand after watching from afar the Lakers handing the keys to Doncic on August 2nd with a 3-year, $165 million extension? Despite the negative publicity that James' agent, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul's previous statement, has generated, James remains supportive of Doncic and the franchise, according to ESPN's Shams Charania. The one thing I can say, though, is that he has been very supportive and very understanding of where this Lakers organization is headed, and that's what Luka Doncic is the face of the franchise, Charania said on ESPN's Get Up on August 4th. And I think the Lakers, as well, are equally as understanding that he wants to be in a situation where he feels comfortable and, at the end of the day, ending his career on his own terms. Lakers offseason receives positive feedback. Lakers president Rob Pelinka essentially said the same during Doncic's press conference on August 2nd when asked about James' sentiment about their roster building this offseason. So, all the interactions we've had with LeBron and his camp, Rich in particular, have been positive and supportive, so very professional, and Rich, Paul, has been great, Pelinka told reporters. The dialogue with him has been open and constant. So that helps answer that question. After James picked up his player option before the NBA free agency began, Paul issued a strong statement to ESPN. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul said on June 29th. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie, Bus, and Rob, Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. Paul then added that James will closely monitor the Lakers' offseason and will evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. The super agent said they understand the challenge in building to win now while preparing for the future of the franchise. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. Paul closed his statement. Since then, the Lakers have made win-now moves by addressing their frontcourt woes with the addition of former number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton and bolstering their perimeter defense with Marcus Smart, a former NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and Jake LaRavia. Will LeBron retire as a Laker? Pelinka is hopeful James will retire as a Laker. Yeah, I expect him to retire as a Laker, Pelinka said. James will become an unrestricted free agent after next season. What he does next, retire or join another team, will be the biggest question that will hang over the Lakers next season. And in terms of LeBron's career, I think the number one thing we have to do there is respect his and his family's decision in terms of how long he's going to play, Pelinka told reporters. That's first and foremost, and we want to respect his ability to come up with his timetable on that. I think that's really important. But if he had a chance to retire as a Laker, that would be great. The Los Angeles Lakers have seemingly learned from their mistakes during the 2024 NBA offseason. A year after failing to sign a single new player, Los Angeles has already brought in 3 new contributors on guaranteed deals: DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart. Lakers franchise player Luka Doncic wasted no time in explaining the value that Smart will bring to the roster with comments that should have fans intrigued. Smart, 31, has struggled to stay healthy over the past 2 seasons, appearing in just 54 games between 2023-24 and 2024-25. His influence in games is matched by what he provides in the locker room and on the practice court, however, and Doncic is already acknowledging said truth. During a recent Lakers press conference, Doncic was asked if his improved fitness and conditioning will help him defensively. His response was enlightening. I think way better. Obviously, we've got Marcus Smart, so he's going to teach me some things. But obviously, that's going to help a lot. It was a quick comment that could have easily been glossed over, but Doncic's praise of Smart as a defender is noteworthy. Luka Doncic is ready to learn from Marcus Smart on defense. No hyperbole is necessary when stating that Smart is one of the best defenders of his generation. Selected at number 6 overall in the 2014 NBA draft, he's spent the past 11 seasons making his mark as a versatile and downright overwhelming defensive presence. That's translated to Smart winning the 2022 Defensive Player of the Year award and securing 3 All-Defense selections, and a case can be made that he should have more on his resume. One of the primary reasons Smart has earned such a prolific reputation as a defender is his uncanny ability to guard up. Despite standing at 6 feet 3.25 inches without shoes, he utilizes every ounce of his powerful 220-pound frame and every centimeter of his 6 feet 9.25 inches wingspan to act as a disruptive force. Alongside his unrivaled determination, Smart has an advanced understanding of positioning and footwork on defense, which has thus allowed him to spend time defending every position on the court. It's fair to question if he can still perform at that level individually in 2025-26. He's missed 110 games over the past 2 seasons, due in no small part to the physically demanding style of play that's contributed to his success over the years. What Smart can provide the Lakers, whether healthy or otherwise, however, is perspective and intelligence, and Doncic appears ready to learn from him. Few players know how to play the angles better than Smart, which will be an essential new skill for Doncic. The All-NBA mainstay admittedly averaged a career-best 1.8 steals per game in 2024-25, but he must still improve his discipline and efficacy as an on-ball and off-ball defender. Thankfully, Doncic has already identified a teammate who can push him to improve, especially now that he's in the best shape of his career. The Los Angeles Lakers and future Hall of Fame forward LeBron James have been in an interesting situation this NBA offseason, with many unsure where their relationship stands at this point. The Lakers have seemingly been prioritizing their relationship with Luka Doncic, pushing the argued GOAT to a second option. Of course, it makes sense for the Lakers to start building around the 26-year-old superstar, who they just granted a huge contract extension, rather than the 40-year-old star on the brink of retirement. But the general expectations were that the franchise would try to win a championship while they are still playing together. Of course, if James decides he wants to leave Los Angeles, he would have his say in where he wants to end up. A handful of potential suitors would certainly emerge, like the Cleveland Cavaliers, LA Clippers, Miami Heat, Dallas Mavericks, and Golden State Warriors, but an unexpected team could steal the show. The San Antonio Spurs are one of the most intriguing teams for any star player, as 21-year-old superstar Victor Wembanyama is the NBA's next big thing, and it is only a matter of time until they are competing for a championship. If James wants to leave the Lakers, teaming up with Wembanyama and company for a year or 2 could be an intriguing move. What would a LeBron to Spurs trade look like? Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey proposed a trade that sends LeBron and Bronny James to the Spurs in exchange for a young wing duo and 2 pick swaps. San Antonio Spurs receive LeBron James, Bronny James. Los Angeles Lakers receive Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, 2031 first-round pick swap, best of SAC, 2032 first-round pick swap. The James family duo is likely a package deal in any trade, and this is not too outlandish of an idea for the Spurs to consider. Vassell is entering the second season of a 5-year, $135 million contract, and while the Spurs would likely rather trade him away for a star they can keep long-term, he would be a necessary sacrifice if they really wanted to bring in James for the end of his career. However, there is doubt on whether or not James will actually leave the Lakers. It seems unlikely that the Lakers will part ways with James anytime soon, but the Spurs would undoubtedly be a consideration for the aging superstar. The Spurs have plenty of pieces to compete for a title as soon as possible, and while trading for James would mess up their timeline around Wembanyama, it is an intriguing avenue to explore.